Now these can actually be found on the beach, and some of these can sell for thousands of dollars. Hey, it's Don. Today we're talking about balls of glass like this one right here. Now this is a fishing float, a net float. We're going to look at some of these close up here in just a second, but there's some horrendous amount of value that can come from some of these. These wash up on the shore still sometimes from Oregon, Washington, California area. So there are people that beachcomb and find some of these. In some cases, after a good storm, you can find a whole bunch of these in certain areas. So we're going to look at some up close and in hand right here, and then we're going to show you some of the values some of these can go for right this very minute. Now here's just a few examples just to give you an idea on the various sizes and shapes. This one obviously is one of the biggest ones here. Now there's a nipple usually inside of the glass piece itself, which you can see fairly clearly on this one here. So just to give you an idea on the size, this is about a 10 or 12 inch one. This one would sell for around 75 to 120 bucks. You can see though in some cases that there's some similar sizes, not necessarily exactly uniform, but very, very close, all of these. Now there is some difference in some of these. This one actually has a maker's mark. It's a little hard to read, but there is some Japanese characters on the bottom. Some folks were masters of the craft of these and made super thin, well-detailed ones. I've got another one that's signed here. This one just says plainly made in Japan, and you can see it right around there. Now, some other ones we have will have a marking on the bottom in Japanese characters, which this one has. It's a little hard to see, but there is a character in Japanese down at the bottom. And you can see the variations in the color on these. This one's a little greener and this one's a little bluer. And here's yet another one that has made in Japan marked on the bottom of it here. Now most all of them will have inclusions, as I said, striations in it. There's little tiny bubbles and marks and pocks all over it. There's even particles of something embedded into some of these. These are usually earlier ones, fairly crude to some extent. Now, color-wise can come in any different size also, so you can find yellow ones as large as any of the other ones, as well as blue and red. The odder the color, the more unique, usually the more valuable they will be. This yellowish one here should be worth at least 40 or so bucks. Now, here's a nice variety of blue ones. Just to give you an idea on the tints, there's probably 4 or 5 different variations of blue tints between these right here. Some of them literally look like someone just pinched it closed like you would a bubblegum bubble or something along that line. This one's fairly crude as well. It's got a big chunk on it, but it still floats. There's no way for the air to get out unless obviously you break these. Now here's a nice little mix of various colors, including some old ones like the olive green ones you see in some of the black glass bottles. Rather interesting one. Here's an amethyst one as well that looks fairly early. It does have some sort of mark, it almost looks like, on the bottom. This one has dimples and dots and bubbles and the whole works. Most of these will sell for 5 or 10 bucks at best. Usually I sell these in lots. Now we've bought and sold hundreds of these across the years. Something I always grab up whenever I see them. Many people aren't aware of what they are. I've even seen people think that they were grapes. Some people mix these up with some of the glass grapes from the mid-mod century from the 1960s, 50s era. But these are clearly floats. There's no mounting piece or anything else like that. Now, as you saw, the highest selling one was something similar in shape to these, but it was extremely well marked and very, very early. These are probably from the 20th century, the early 20th century, up to the 1930s or 40s, I would guess. The shaped ones like this are far less common than any of the ball-shaped ones also, so some of these can do extremely well. This one does have some marks back here on the side. Some of it's chipped off, but it was surely marked at one point. Nice, interesting shapes. These can be found as well in very large sizes. Now, interesting enough on some of these too, if you look very carefully, you can just barely see the pattern of where the netting was on this one. So this is clearly an original one. Sometimes the netting will protect it, and the rest of the surface of this will get beat up with sand and particles as they wash around in the ocean. Sometimes for 50, 60, even 100 years, some of these have probably been out there floating, just waiting to wash up on shore and be found. This is an excellent area to look for, and I really honestly love all of these sorts of oddball glass items. So now we're in Terapeak, and as you can see here, some of these have sold for thousands of dollars. The highest price one is almost $3,000. Many other ones, individual ones, shaped ones, ones that have been signed by makers, can go for thousands as well, as you can see here. Now, this is the highest selling one on eBay right now, and it has Maker's Mark all the way across it. The highest priced selling ones will be Maker's Mark. They'll have usually Japanese characters on it. A large number of these would have been hand blown, the vast majority of them. Sometimes it literally looks like a bubble off of bubble gum, and they've pinched it on the end to seal it up as a bubble. These are highly sought after, and they still can wash up on the beaches right now. Now, some old ones still turn up because they're still usable, and most people who use them for fishing nets may have no clue that they're worth some money. So all over on the West Coast, these can turn up, and as you can see here, they do sell for some phenomenal money. Here's yet another one. This one's a massive one. It's 37 inches, and it is maker marked or signed. That is what you're looking for. You can see some of the imperfections and things that you would expect to find in a glass item of this size. This one sold for $300. Now, these are all hollow if you're unaware. These are not like crystal balls. A crystal ball is a solid chunk of glass that has to be meticulously done so that there aren't any imperfections, or massive ones anyway. These are blown glass, hollow, made to float. Some of these are massive, like this 39-inch one here. They would have been used for main supports to hold up netting, fish nets, and things like that. Some of them were used for buoys as well. Netting is important for some of them. Others do not actually care whether they're netted or not. People put these in tiki rooms, so they're extremely popular for those bar-type collectors. This one sold for around $300. Here's yet another giant-sized one, as you can see. This is a massive one. The larger they are, the more chances I have seen that they would actually be marked by the maker. It took some doing to get a glass ball of this size and shape together. Now, the netting can be replaced, but if you want the most money, it's best to have it all original, even if it's dirty and dingy. That look is what most people are looking for. Now, this one's in yellow. It's not super huge. It's about 11 inches across. They come in many different colors. There's at least 8, 9, 10 different colors. Red seems to be one of the hardest ones to get, as does the amethyst or purple ones. Some of the deep blue sell for some pretty darn good money as well. Lots of variance in color. None of them are perfect. Most every one I've run into has some bubbles and things, imperfections in them. They weren't meant to be super, super pretty. They were utilitarian items meant to be used. And here's yet just another one to give you another example here. This one's about 10 to 12 inches. It has most of the original netting. There is some chunk that looks like that was added to actually hang it from as well. These do wash up just like you see it here because they're still used to this day. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Not a long time ago, a very extraordinary ice was invented. It was cold and cherry and very magical, because when you poured water on it, it fizzed and grew into a soft drink so thick and cold you had to eat it with a spoon. And like nothing the world has ever known before, when you ate it, wild and wonderful things ran up and down, in and out, and all over inside you. And that's why today, in honor of that very extraordinary experience, we call this soft drink you eat with a spoon, chills and thrills.